Welcome back, listeners. My name is Larry Colvig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Haven Financial Group radio show, where weekly we discuss, crucial retirement and financial topics and how that can make the difference between surviving retirement and really thriving through it, Kim. We're big into education. Check out our classes. Anybody can attend. We provide all the materials and educated decisions, especially for retirement, because oftentimes it's uncharted territory. You worked all these years to get to where you're at, and there's never too early of a time to start planning for it, because before you know it, it's here.
You bet it is. That's for sure. Today, we're talking about some of the things you might want to, take into account as you prepare for your retirement. We were just talking about leftover $529. I want to talk about market volatility. Larry, being in the market is not necessarily where you want a lot of retirees, or at least not all of their money. It's much different from when you're a younger, hardworking individual, 35, 40, where you're willing to take that risk. And right now, these are times that are a little uncertain. So we're seeing that market volatility. So what is it that you're talking to your clients about when it comes to their investments that are still in the market, and what might protect them?
Here's the thing, Kim. Your retirement strategy is far more than just how much money do you have, buying low, selling high, short-term trading, long-term trading. It's way more than that. It's covering your assets and the expenses needed in retirement. And that's why we think it's so important to understand how much risk do you have in your portfolio. And we're all wired differently. Mm-hmm. It's not for us to say you have too much or too little. Are you positioned where you're comfortable, based upon your needs? So often people are unaware until something negative happens, and the market's very volatile right now. And we had a good feeling that it was going to be. There's no matter who's in, I think the next 6 to 9 months, it doesn't matter. There's just so many irons in the fire and so many things to work out. So having an awareness, and so many people have way more risk than they think they do. And then the only way they get aware of it is, oh my goodness, my portfolio went down 25%.
Right.
Why did that happen? So stress test that portfolio. Make sure you're where you should be positioned from a risk standpoint, because timing is everything. And I'll never forget, I've been dating myself, in 1999 to 2001, there was a market correction, and didn't really make as much difference for us that we were so much younger. In 07 to 09, there was a market correction. So that one decade was called the lost decade, because there was 2 market corrections. For almost 14 years, the stock market was like perfect, and we got spoiled. And then all of a sudden, finally, 2022 came around. Oh my goodness, the market went down 25%. How did this happen? Well, I thought it would have happened a lot sooner. So if this is the decade you're potentially retiring, how many market corrections are we going to have this decade? I have no idea, nor does anybody else. So what you can do is only protect your best interest.
Yeah. We don't know how many there are going to be, but there is a chance there will be market corrections. So let's talk it through. So let's say I come in and I sit down with you and I say, Larry, we're going to retire in the next 5 years. We're trying to put together our portfolio, and I don't like a lot of risk. I want to sleep at night. What are we going to do?
Well, first of all, we're going to start the process like we always do at Haven. And that's, you get to know us, we get to know you. It's called the discovery process. And it's really probing a lot of retirement discussions, a lot of retirement questions, way before we even get into the investment or the money talks. It's your estate plan, it's your health care, it's your taxes. It's just all generic, really good thinking about all the different things that you may not have thought of. From there, we'll look at putting together a strategy. We'll stress test your portfolio, analyze how much risk, and that's done by, there's all kinds of good software out there. We plug in all your stuff that you have, small, medium, or large, because if you have very little or a lot or anything in between, and then we'll see if there's any implementation process or strategies that we can execute. From there, if one chooses to say, you know what, I think Haven would be a really good partner, then we'll set up and implement these, continue to monitor, adjust, and do all the things that you would expect from a retirement firm. And when I say that, we're way more than just an investment company. we do all the different retirement topics that you and I talk about every single week. So it's not just, there's a lot of investment companies, but we're a full service, independent retirement advisory firm. Mm-hmm. And that was the goal. And this is our 10-year anniversary, and we're extremely thankful to have helped a lot of people in these last 10 years.
So I think that, through interviewing individuals as they come in, you get a sense of their personalities. But what do you do when you have somebody who comes in, Larry, and who just can't stand the idea of being on the sidelines? And what this volatility is about. What do you suggest? Where can they put their money and still feel like they're relatively safe, but they're still in the game?
Yeah, great question. Great question. We like to see a good balance. We like to see a good amount of liquidity, which most people do not have enough liquid dollars, savings, checking, money market CDs. For middle 60, 70-year-old couple, we like to see 50 to 100 grand liquid. Safe, accessible, liquid. From there, we'll analyze how much risk do you have in your portfolio, whether it's a small portfolio or a really large one. Is it consistent with your core values, your comfort level? Or do you not sleep at night? Do you panic in these last couple of weeks when the market's been 600 up and 600 down and another 700 down? And, these are some major pendulum swings. The sequence of returns risk. You retire and all of a sudden the market's down for the first 2 years of your retirement. Well, compared to if that was your last 2 years of retirement, that makes a huge, huge difference. How much do you need? The big questions we get on a weekly basis, Kim, is do I have enough money to retire? Right. Or when am I going to run out of money? Is it when I'm 95 or 75? Kind of some important questions that we need to ask. And are you in this position that you're in because you want to be, or because nobody's explaining it to you or helping you? And that's the problem that I see. Right. People maybe get together once or twice a year with their guy or gal. They pay them more than they should be paying, and most people don't even know what they're paying, and I think people should. And it's just about awareness and understanding and transparency. I think it's just so important, and it should be expected today.
Sure, absolutely. In the next segment, we're going to talk a little bit more about insurance, but how much of someone's retirement money do you think should be in an insurance product, or do you believe in insurance products?
They're not for everybody. And I'll preface it by saying we work with fixed index annuities and other insurance products like long-term care and insurance where it's appropriate. Now, does everybody need an insurance financial product? Absolutely not. And there are those out there that only do financial insurance products. It needs to be a good balance. So whoever you're working with shouldn't be pushing you. It should be the right fit. But what I see is so many people that we visit with have very little liquid and everything at risk in the market. Mm-hmm. Or they have a financial product which they have no idea what they purchased. And then 3 years into it, they go, oh my goodness, what do I have here? I haven't made any money. Right. The fees are taking up all the profits. And I teach a class, The Truth About Annuities. Nobody has to have an annuity, but can it be a part of an effective portfolio? Absolutely. In some cases, yes. And in some cases, no. If you have an annuity or a financial product that you don't understand, bring it on in and let's have a discussion about it. What you should have is an understanding of what you purchased and how much they're charging you for it.
Absolutely. All right. Let's give everybody the telephone number because, if you're somebody out there who has an annuity and you don't know about your product, or if you're just trying to make some decisions based on the fact that you have a lot of your dollars in the market right now and it's making you a little bit nervous, keeping you up at night, they even financial guys, these experts can sit down with you and they can talk you through this, and work with you. 612-504-8400. 612-504-8400. And they do have a lot of educational classes. If you have questions about Social Security, or maybe you have some questions about taxes, havenfinancialgroup.com. That's where you're going to learn more about some of those classes. All right. We talked about just briefly here, Larry, insurance products, but we want to have a more in-depth conversation about insurance products, how important they might be or not be to a retirement plan. So up next, Glenn Ramey, he's an expert on insurance there at Haven Financial Group. He's going to be joining us to chat a little bit more about that. This is the Haven Financial Group Radio Show.